Hey everybody, it's Jennifer with the Family Fudge and welcome to Subscriber Lunch Weekend. That's right you guys, on Friday's video, Saturday's video, and Sunday's video, we're letting our subscribers choose the lunches we make. Now if you'd like to send in your lunch idea, number 1, make sure you're subscribed. And then number 2, go ahead and send me your lunch idea on Instagram. I can't wait to see what ideas you come up with this week. And now let's get on to the lunches. First up, we have a lunch idea sent in by April. She is 11 years old and is from England. For her lunch today, I'm going to start with the main course first. For this, I will need some eggs, some cheese, some sauteed onions. For April's lunch, she requested mini frittatas. Mini frittatas are just like the egg muffin cups that I make quite often. My kids love them and they are so easy. That means I'm gonna crack 6 eggs, the milk and the salt and pepper, and I'm gonna whisk that all together. Now I'm going to set that aside and focus on our other ingredients. In each of my silicone muffin cups, I'm gonna add a little bit of the sauteed onion and also a little bit of the cheese, and then I'm going to pour the egg mixture right on top. Now the awesome thing about these mini frittatas is that you can really add any ingredient that you like. And now it's time for some fruit and veggies. For April's lunch today, she requested 3 different kinds of melon: watermelon, cantaloupe, and one of my favorites, honeydew. For the watermelon, I'm going to use my flour cookie cutter to punch out some really cute shapes. And then for the cantaloupe and the honeydew, I'm just going to use my crinkle cutter to make these into little bite-sized pieces. Now I did decide to keep these separate in the lunchbox. I think they look really pretty that way. And of course I love to add food pics, you guys. So for this lunch I'm going to add these really cute mini reusable forks. For the vegetable today, April chose carrots. I'm also including some ranch for dipping. And that brings us to the extra snack. For this lunch I'm going to add some rice pudding. Now, if you've never tried rice pudding, I totally recommend that you give it a try because I think it's really good. It's definitely a sweet and creamy treat. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this entire section with the rice pudding. And this box is really awesome because the little grooves on the lid help the food stay in their section and not leak all over the box. And then this would be totally delicious just as is. But I really think if you sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top of rice pudding, that it makes it even better. Just be careful not to add too much cinnamon. A little bit goes a long way here. And that brings me back to the frittatas, which are finally ready. These are still piping hot though, so I have to be careful. Now, if I was sending these to school and I wanted to keep them warm, I would definitely put them in the thermos. This is really easy to do. I just pop the entire thing, muffin cup and all, right in the thermos, and they really do stay hot. Oh yes, and as you can see, these did not stick at all, so cleanup is gonna be really easy. And then for April's drink today, I'm adding just a mixed berry juice pouch. Simple and classic, but still delicious. So for this lunch, Mackenzie's gonna be our taste tester. What do you think, Mackenzie?
It was actually really good. All of the fruit was super delicious. Even though these eggs are super hot, they're still tasty. I liked everything about this lunch, but my favorite was probably the mini frittatas, because I like eggs of all kinds.
Our next lunch idea was sent in by Aiden. He's 6 years old and is from Alaska. Now for Aiden's lunch, I definitely want to start with the main course first because I think it's going to take the longest to make. But not that long, it's actually really easy. Aiden requested pizza for his lunch, and there are really so many different kinds of pizza that I could make. For this lunch, I decided to use a can of dough, mozzarella cheese, marinara sauce, and of course, some pepperoni. Now normally I would use turkey pepperoni, but they were all out. So instead I got my second best choice, which still has a lot less grease than a regular pepperoni would. Now if you haven't already guessed it, I'm going to be making my pizza roll-ups, which is surprisingly a lot like making cinnamon rolls, but of course these are not sweet. And I'm not actually gonna make these. Miss Lily really wanted to help me make this pizza, and since it's so easy, I said she could definitely help. First, she spread out a very thin layer of sauce, You definitely don't want too much sauce here, otherwise it'll just leak out all over the place and make a big mess. Next, she very carefully placed the pepperoni, followed by the mozzarella cheese. Now I went ahead and stepped in and finished this next part. I very carefully rolled it all the way up, and I tried to roll it as tightly as I could. Then, instead of using a knife, I used my kitchen scissors to cut this into 8 pieces. You see, these really do look like cinnamon rolls, don't they? So now all I have to do is place them on a baking sheet and pop them into the oven. And now it's time for some vegetables. For Aiden's lunch, he chose carrots. So I decided to use my mandolin slicer to make carrot coins. Carrot coins are so fun. These are really easy to make, and I like to cut them extra thin. Now all I have to do is gather these up and move on to the fruit. For Aiden's lunch today, I'm adding watermelon, and I decided to go ahead and use my melon baller for this. Now my watermelon was kind of mushy, so my melon balls aren't perfectly round. But that's okay, they're still gonna taste great. And this watermelon's been chilled because I don't know about you, but I love a good cold watermelon. I think it's super refreshing, especially on a hot summer day. Now already this is looking so good, but I have a few more things to add. For his snack today, Aiden requested popcorn, so I'm actually gonna add this small bag of mixed popcorn. So you guys, half of the popcorn is caramel corn and the other half is cheddar popcorn. Now I know that might seem like a weird combination, but trust me, it is good. And now that brings us to the sweet treat. For this lunch, I'm adding Hershey Kisses. Did you guys know that Hershey Kisses have been around since 1907? It's true, you guys, these are such a classic. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little handful to the separate container. And then lastly, for his drink, Aiden requested fruit-infused water. So this is just regular water with real pieces of blueberry and strawberry floating inside. These berries will definitely make the water taste really good without adding any extra sugar. Okay, so for this lunch, we're gonna have Jackson helping us out. What do you think, Jackson? What was your favorite part?
Well, my favorite part was the pizza rolls. I also liked the watermelon and the popcorn. Oh yeah, and the Hershey Kisses were good too.
This next lunch idea was sent in by Alva. She's 13 years old and is from Sweden. For her lunch today, I'm gonna start with the sweet treat first, which I'm pretty excited about because it's cinnamon rolls. Now these ones are the Grand cinnamon rolls with Cinnabon cinnamon, so you can definitely see that these are huge. This whole pack only comes with 5, they are that big. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these into my oven, and then as soon as they come out, I can add the yummy icing. Now while those are in the oven, it's time to make the sandwiches. When I was at my grocery store, I found these adorable tiny slices of bread. I think these are made for hors d'oeuvres, but I think they're gonna make the most adorable miniature sandwiches. So for Alva's sandwiches, I'm adding a little bit of mayo, some mustard, followed by some slices of cheese and some uncured salami. Now to make these even more special, I decided to make a triple-decker sandwich and then cut them in half. And to make sure these sandwiches don't fall apart, I added a little emoji food pic to each sandwich. For her vegetable today, I'm adding some sugar snap peas with ranch for dipping. And for the fruit, I'm going to add slices of banana with a little bit of cinnamon on top. I think that sounds so good. And then of course we have those cinnamon rolls. They just came out of the oven and they've had a little bit of time to cool off. So now I'll go ahead and add the icing. I'll add one to a separate container and decorate with another emoji food pic. For Alva's snack today, she also requested cashews. I recently found these cashews when I was visiting Chicago. These are the everything bagel flavored cashews. And then of course that brings us to the drink. For Alva's lunch, she requested a Capri Sun. So for her lunch, I'm adding a tropical flavored one. This has orange and pineapple flavoring. It's really good. Okay, now it's Miss Lily's turn to be our lunch tester. What'd you think, Lil?
I would like the sandwiches, the peas, the brown, like stuff on the bananas.
Oh, the cinnamon bananas?
And the peanut stuff and the juice.
What was your favorite out of everything?
The sandwiches. Wait, no, the bananas. That's my favorite.
Next up, I have a lunch idea sent in by Janna. She is 11 years old and is from Texas. Now for her main course today, she requested sushi. Now I have to admit, you guys, I have never ever made my own sushi, but I would love to learn how. So for her lunch today, I took a little bit of a shortcut and I picked up some store-prepared sushi. So this type of sushi is known as a California roll. At my store, they make it with brown rice, some nori, they also add crab and avocado, and then it's drizzled with spicy mayo and a little bit of soy sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this into the lunchbox. This also comes with a little bit of pickled radish and wasabi. So I'm gonna place those in there as well. And now that our sushi is ready to go, I can go ahead and move on to the fruit. For Janna's lunch, she chose mango. Now I have to say, this mango is smelling super ripe, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good. Next, I'm gonna add some cherry tomatoes right in here. And since I want Janna's lunch to be super cute, I'm also gonna add my food picks. These are so cute. I love using these for tomatoes and strawberries sometimes. In this middle section, I'm gonna add a little bit of ranch to dip the tomatoes in. And then for her snack today, Janna chose graham crackers. So I went ahead and chose the cutest graham crackers that my store had. These are Teddy Grahams. So there's bear shapes in there, but there's also butterflies, ladybugs, and honeybees. These are gonna be tasty and super cute. I'm just gonna add a little bit to a separate container. Now so far this is looking so great, but it's not complete without a sweet treat. For Janna's lunch, she chose Jell-O. And instead of making it, I did go ahead and just some Jell-O cups. I decided to go with the strawberry flavor. It has been a long time since we've had Jell-O. I'm pretty sure Miss Lily will be super excited to see it. And that brings us to Janna's drink. For her lunch, she chose strawberry lemonade. So now we have Lily and Griffin sharing this lunch. What'd you think, Lily?
My favorite was the mangoes, the Teddy Grahams, and the juice. That's all I liked.
What about the sushi?
Bleh. Yucky. Mango was my favorite. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.